Well, I thought I'd do another cottage vlog since I have lots of free time at the moment and we're here and it's so beautiful. Here's just another quick little video from a different angle. There's that outhouse I was talking about back there. At least I think I talked about it. Maybe I just meant to. I don't know. So, my parents and our two friends are watching a movie that I just don't really feel like watching. So I thought, why don't I make another vlog? Because it's so gorgeous outside. Got some nice waves coming in. I'm not swimming right now, but I went swimming earlier today. It was really nice. The sun was out and it wasn't windy. I did some sun tanning too. Don't think it made much difference, but, well, it happened anyway, so. Haven't really planned out what I'm going to talk about here. But, let's see. What have we been up to? All I could say is that I've been drinking quite a bit. I guess it's as good a time as any to do my little rant on what being legal means and such. So, as I mentioned, I live in Ontario, and that means that I'm only able to drink alcohol when I'm 19 years old. This doesn't make any sense to me, because when I'm 18, the government considers me a legal adult, and I'm allowed to vote for the person who's going to run my country. But I'm not allowed to decide to put a little bit of alcohol into my own body. This doesn't make any sense, especially because in Quebec, you can at 18. Why is a person in Ontario different than a person in Quebec? I have no idea. I'm pretty sure our bodies are made the same way, so you can't tell me that it's has to do with like, oh, you know, your liver isn't developed or your brain isn't developed or, you know, something equally as silly as that, which I think is the excuse they use in the States for why you can't drink until you're 21, which, I'm sorry, if I have any, you know, friends from the States watching, I feel really bad for you. Like, I think 21 is just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, so we could just go to Quebec, get really drunk there, because the law isn't you can't get drunk at 18, it's you can't buy alcohol or sell it or touch it or anything like that. You could be drunk, though, because you can go to Quebec and get drunk. Anyway, so I'm trying to keep myself a little bit more grounded, a little bit less worked up, because sometimes when I talk about this, I tend to get a little shouty and angry, because I just think it's so absolutely ridiculous. How come I'm a legal adult, but I can't put alcohol into my own body? That doesn't make any sense to me. And I heard somewhere that the reason Ontario has its drinking laws at 19 is because we used to have grade 13. So if you were legally allowed to have alcohol at 18, then I guess they fear that it would be in the schools or something. Well, that doesn't hold water. It doesn't make sense, because people are still 19 in grade 13, right? So they can come in with alcohol, but the school has rules that you can't bring alcohol, or they could, and that would sort of trump the rules of the legal drinking age or whatever. Because, like, they tell me I can't bring peanut butter, for example. They tell you can't have, like, weapons or anything, even if you are legally allowed to have that weapon. You're not allowed to bring it to school, for example. They have rules about how you can dress. They have dress codes, but, you know, for some reason, they decided that even though legally you'd be allowed to carry alcohol, they wouldn't be able to stop you from bringing it in, which they can't do anyway, because people get it when they're still illegal, and then they just bring it in like a water bottle or something, or a thermos or whatever. And you're not going to stop kids from bringing water bottles and thermoses to school. So, really, it's absolutely for nothing. Plus, we don't even have grade 13 anymore. So it just really is a ridiculous rule. And all it does is that, you know, your whole life, you know, the government makes it seem like alcohol is the worst thing in the world. Like, it's just the number one public enemy, or whatever the proper public enemy number one, I guess. You know, the biggest demon, I guess, in the world. So you're told, and if your parents really buy into the law, you know, you're told, like, oh, you can't drink, so no, you can't go to this party, you can't have your friends over, no, you can't have any of our, whatever we're having, you know, at dinner time. And then as soon as you hit 18, you go to Quebec, which isn't very far away, it's just a quick bus ride. You stuff as much alcohol down your throat as you could possibly manage, so you probably screw yourself up a whole lot more than if they had laxer drinking laws like they do in Europe, for example, or, you know, in my family, obviously I wasn't having an entire bottle of beer when I was younger, but I could have a glass of wine, like, or a sip of my parents' wine, and then my own glass of wine, but obviously a small one or whatever. So when I turned 18, I didn't run off to Quebec. I didn't kill my liver as much as I possibly could. I didn't even wait till I was 19 and kill my liver as much as I possibly could in Ontario. You know, yes, I went to a casino, and that was fun, and I had a little cocktail or whatever, but I've never had a pull to get drunk because my parents didn't ban it from me. They said, you know, like, yeah, you can have some, whatever, you know? So I think that those laws are really silly. And especially when you consider that, you know, other things like, for example, the legal age to have sex was 14. The government really thinks that a 14-year-old can make the decision to have sex and possibly create another life, but they can't decide to put, you know, alcohol in their own body, which doesn't affect anybody. You know, like, if you smoke, for example, then the smoke can go in the air and affect other people. I think that's kind of BS anyway, but that's, at least you could say that it does affect other people. I don't smoke, and I don't support smoking, but I don't think it's public enemy number 1 or number 2 either, you know, after alcohol. I don't encourage it, and I wish people didn't do it, but am I going to stop them from doing that? No, because, you know, they're adults and they can make their own decisions. If I don't like it, I will walk away, because guess what? I have legs and there's space to go. Am I happy that they don't do it in restaurants? Absolutely, but I think it's just as good if they have a, like, smoking section in the restaurant and then a non-smoking section, because that's how they do it in Europe, and it works really well, you know? I really enjoyed myself every time that I went to a restaurant in Europe, and a lot of people smoke, but they're kept in one section, and so it's not that bad. But alcohol, for example, it doesn't have, you know, fumes that just kind of surround the air or whatever. I mean, go into the air surrounding you. And I just think it's absolutely ridiculous that you can't make the choice to put that into your own body, especially if you're already an adult. So, what do you think? If you're from the States, what explanation is there for having to be 21? I mean, at 18 or whatever, you can go into the army and hold a gun, and you can't have alcohol. You're an adult and you can, you know, get married, but you won't be able to have champagne at your own wedding, that kind of thing. And that's absolutely, I think, ridiculous. So what do you guys think? And I'm bringing this up because I'm at the cottage here, and now that I'm 19, I can actually go to the store and buy my own stuff. And I mean, at the cottage, I've always been able to have, you know, a little bit, even though it's like, anyway, and with my family and stuff. But now it's like legal for me or whatever. I don't know where I was going with this train of thought, but I'm just saying, like, you know, my dad can buy something specifically for me. For the record, I really like Bacardi Breezers. They're really good. Today he bought some pineapple Bacardi Breezer, and that was really delicious. And we had the orange one before. Anyway, so I don't know, I just think it's kind of ridiculous that sometimes we feel we have to, like, hide the fact that we drink. And no, I'm not drunk. I've never been drunk in my life and have no intention of getting drunk, but I enjoy a little bit of alcohol with my meal every now and then. So what do you think? Do you agree with me, or do you think that the government is right? Or, you know, what are your theories? Conspiracy theories are welcome too. I know a lot of people that believe that, and I do quite agree with them. The government is trying to prove that it's important for something, and they're trying to exercise as much power as they can, so they try to get their fingers into our personal lives, and they try to control little things instead of dealing with big issues. So anyway, what do you think? That's what I want to know. Bye, guys.